There's a lot of layers in Harley Quinn Season 3, whether it is Bruce kidnapping Frank to ultimately create some kind of serum that brings his parents back from the dead, but they're zombies and it creates kind of a zombie apocalypse in Gotham, and the whole thing is absolutely funny. Or it's Dr. Psycho being in Arkham and having a podcast because everybody has a fucking podcast these days, to Harley and Ivy figuring their shit out and Ivy trying to take over Gotham, and Harley's like, wait a minute, maybe you shouldn't do this. But she's also on board to it because she doesn't want to disappoint Ivy because she's in love and blah, blah, blah. Oh, and the Joker is the mayor of Gotham. Absolutely destroys Jim Gordon in the election, which I find hysterical. And Harley joins the Bat family. But yeah, Season 3 is quite good, and I look forward to Season 4. So The Invitation it's a little bit of a different take on the vampire genre. The movie reminded me a lot of Ready or Not with Samara Weaving, which is a fantastic movie, absolutely amazing. The Invitation, not exactly amazing. I mean, it's okay. It's not terrible by any means. It's a little slow at times, but it is entertaining. It can be a little bit suspenseful, but I feel like it could have been better. So 3,000 Years of Longing is not entirely what I expected it to be. The movie has Idris Elba as a genie, and he ends up telling stories about how he came to be in his bottles and trapped and all that shit, and about his love and all this bullshit. And she's telling this all to Tilda Swinton, who plays Alethea. And it's, she starts when she meets him, be like, no, this is bullshit. No, go away. Leave me alone. And then all of a sudden she's in love with him. And her first wish is, oh, be in love with me. It's like, wow, your mind changed really quick there. But that being said, 3,000 Years of Longing, it's actually a pretty decent movie. It's very, very well acted. George Miller, the director, did a fantastic job. It can be kind of boring at times, but it's an overall good movie. Kevin Hart plays the same character as he always does, or at least he has been playing lately. Like kind of an uptight, by the book, regular guy who hasn't had fun in years, but he learns to have fun. And Mark Wahlberg is also playing the same character he's been playing for years. Irresponsible jackass who's constantly having fun, but he learns to be responsible. It has a few funny moments, but honestly, it's not great. Whew. Wow, I was not expecting Barbarian to be so insanely good. Like, there's twists and turns everywhere. A lot of the time in modern day horror movies, you can kind of tell what's going on, what's going to happen. There's signals everywhere to like, oh, okay, this person's probably the killer, or this person probably did it, this happened, this is going to happen. You can kind of figure it out. But Barbarian is just so all over the place, but in a good way, that it keeps you guessing, it keeps you wondering what the fuck is going to happen. Cars on the Road, definitely made for kids, not somebody my age. But there are like fun little parodies of The Shining, of Mad Max Fury Road, of all things. But I don't know. It's kind of dumb, but it's not terrible. Okay, so there's a satanic cult, and they carve an upside-down pentagram into the back of a kid. Because, like, she's supposed to marry the cult leader or something, but it's the cult leader's flesh and blood daughter, but not actually Mary, because she's supposed to be burned on a platform or something. But anyway, there's this doctor played by Bones, and she herself is an abuse victim, so she feels all sorry for this girl, and she brings her into the family, and shit starts fucking up and going to hell, and the family is like broken and blah 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 blah. Honestly, it is overall well acted by everybody involved, but it's just, the story itself is kind of boring, and the ending is just especially since it is very much foreshadowed in like the beginning of the series, and by the time you get to the ending itself, the final moments of the final episode, you're like, oh, okay. Pearl is the prequel to X, which came out earlier this year, which is a fucking awesome horror movie. Like, it was so well done. Pearl tells the story of like the old woman from X, who is the one that like kills everybody. And while Pearl is, I did enjoy it. It was good. It was not as good as X, but the performance of Mia Goth as Pearl, she is the absolute standout. She is phenomenal. You know, she was kind of a supporting bit player in X, so it was good to see her actually get to take center stage in Pearl. So this movie is, I don't know. I mean, the story is okay. It can be a little confusing at times because there's like a story within a story, a play within a play. But the performances by the cast, Sam Rockwell, Cyrus Ronan, I'm not entirely sure how you say her first name. Both of them are phenomenal. They absolutely save the movie from being an absolute disaster because the story is just, what? At one point in this movie, one of the kids go, "I don't know what's going on." And honestly, neither do I. This movie has a very interesting twist that when it happened, I was like, oh shit, no way. But then the more I thought about it, there were a shitload of clues, so many clues. It's like, oh, this is actually pretty goddamn obvious. Now, I guess this movie is a remake of a 2014 Austrian film, and a lot of people regard it as a masterpiece, or at the very least, one of the best horror movies of the decade. So, and I haven't seen it. I unfortunately have not seen it, though I want to now, because I want to compare the two. Even though Naomi Watts is absolutely amazing in this movie, that's all this movie is. If you take out Naomi Watts, this movie will fall completely flat.
Did you enjoy the review? Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to get notified when more reviews go live. Feel free to leave a comment to discuss your thoughts on the movie or show, and I will see you next time.